should be barricaded in your house and kept off of the street for sterilized lobotomized within a quarantine. Cause the things you say and do to me your brain sounds off a few, and that is why I hate you.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Oh, this is really fucking loud, isn't it?
Really fucking loud.
I probably should have turned it down a little bit. Oh well.
And that is why I hate you.
Oh, what's up, everybody? We're recording in person today.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
I mean, the consistency is weirder, but...
I know, third week in a row.
Oh,
we're fucking killing it. We're back, baby!
Yeah, baby!
I don't know
man.
why. Why do you think we've been so consistent over the last couple weeks?
Because we're out of our depressive funk for now.
For now. Yeah, we've both made it out of our our permanent depressive funk. We've had a temporary reprieve from. Yeah, I can't believe we've recorded for the third day in a row. You know, I just realized we didn't even figure out what our topic was going to be for sure yet.
No. We just kind of...
We kind of started without...
Threw some ideas around and that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess we're going to, in real time, figure out what our idea is going to be here. This is going to be a special episode, folks. You're going to hear the thought process in real time.
Which isn't a lot, between the two of us.
No, we don't have much of a thought process at all. Our brain power combined is about that of I don't know, maybe a small squirrel.
A squirrel? I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, we're going to get right to it and talk about my squirrel story. I already told Joaquin the story, which I feel bad. I feel like I should have saved it for the podcast, but I got bit by a squirrel this past week.
How? How did you get bit by a squirrel?
Well, you see, Joaquin, the squirrel was in my toilet.
Wait, what? You're a toilet,
I know. Crazy, right?
Toilet squirrels?
Toilet squirrels. I know. It's a very common problem in the country. Toilet squirrels, the vermin that kills secretly and silently. So, I keep exaggerating the time. It was more like 5:30 in the morning. I hear a blood-curdling scream. I'm laying in bed. I hear my wife just go, "Ah!"
Jesus, that's gonna peak.
Sorry. Yeah. It did. I legitimately thought one of the kids was dying or injured, badly. It was that kind of scream.
As you should.
So I ran the fuck downstairs, and she just goes, "There's a mouse in the toilet! There's a mouse in the toilet!" And I was like, What the fuck? What? Because I was half asleep still, and I was just not making sense to me. What are you... And I go in, and I open the lid, and sure enough, there's not a mouse, a flying squirrel. I'm pretty sure. I didn't actually go to a professional to get this figured out, but I'm 99% certain it was a flying squirrel. It's just paddling around in the fucking toilet. Oh my God. And I was half asleep, so me and my infinite wisdom and my huge big old brain was like, I get squirrel out of toilet, I go back to sleep. So what did I do? You think? You're probably thinking maybe, I don't know, I got a pair of tongs or I got a bowl and or a pan or a pot or something, or I don't know, some sort of device. Nope, I went, that's toilet water, so let me put some vinyl gloves on. So I put on vinyl gloves to protect myself from the poop water, and grabbed a Walmart bag for some reason, because I thought, yeah, that's a container, and tried to capture the squirrel with my bare hands in a Walmart bag. It did not work out. Instead, it bit my finger and latched on very, very, very hard and would not let go until I finally got it off.
I've been meaning to ask you, how the hell did you get it off your finger?
I don't know.
Because I just imagine you punching your own hand to get it off.
It was latched on, and its eye was just looking at me like, I'm not letting go, motherfucker. And I kind of kept pulling, and it must have just gotten I wasn't yanking it. I was just trying to pull it apart. It must have gotten tired, and eventually it let go, and I kind of got it in the bag more.
Yeah.
And then I ran and I got a Tupperware. I put it in the Tupperware. I put the lid on it, and it was just in there. And I just went, fuck. And I was just sitting there I don't know what to do. And I said to my wife, should I go to the doctor? And she went, yeah, you should go to the fucking doctor.
You should go to the doctor, asshole.
So I went over to the ER. I'm not going to make this part a long story. I went over to the ER. Nobody believed me. They neither believed the fact that a squirrel was in my toilet, nor did they believe the fact that I was stupid enough to try to grab it with my bare hands. They weren't bare. I had vinyl gloves on.
Yeah, some layer of protection.
Yeah, sure, it worked. Worked perfectly. And they gave me a tetanus shot. They gave me some antibiotics to take, and would not give me a rabies shot because the Department of Health in New York State does not consider squirrels to be a known, or they use the term like vector carrier, vector animal of rabies. So they basically were like, we just don't do anything. And I said,
especially those wily toilet squirrels.
yeah, those toilet squirrels. And I said, okay, usually is not never. And if you're wrong, the consequences aren't I get sick and have to go to the hospital. The consequences are I get rabies and die. So they called the Department of Health, and the nurse came back and said, they're going to call you. And they did. And they immediately called me. And I said, they told me the same thing. And I said, well, I have the animal trapped. Can't you guys test the animal? Because that's what I had always heard online. Like, they test the animal to see, you know, they check its brain or whatever. And they said, well, it's the same rules. We don't test them because they're not considered rabies carriers. And I said the same thing to her. I was like, if it does have rabies, I will die. And then I also added in, I am also a anxious and panic-stricken and perseverating human being. And if I don't either get shots or you check this animal out, I'm going to perseverate on this for the next month. And it will probably drive me crazy. Like, literally, I will go insane. And the woman was very nice, and she said, I'm going to call New York State and ask if they will test the animal and try to get approval. And she said, I can, if I just send it to them, they'll more than likely just discard it. They'll look at it and go, it's a squirrel, it's not one of the animals we're supposed to test, and they'll just get rid of it. So fortunately, she called me later that day and told me it was okay to bring the animal in. I brought it in. They froze it, they sent it out for testing, and it did not have rabies, thankfully. But yeah, that was a weird day.
I can imagine.
And for those of you wondering how a squirrel got my toilet, I can't find any other possible way than what I found on the internet, which is that people that have sewer vents on their roof, which if you're not familiar, are just like little pipes that stick up from your sewer vent in the basement to let all the gases out so they don't build up and you don't get back smell in your house, your drains. Flew onto the roof, saw like, ooh, warm hole, it's cold outside. Went down there, got into the main pipe in the basement. My wife flushed the toilet. I think it probably was like, oh, that's an exit. There's water coming from there. And decided to pop its head out and come through the toilet. It's the only thing I can figure. I can't find, there's no other entry points or ways. Like, I called two buddies of mine that are pest control experts, and they both were like, I've never heard of that in my life. And they were like, are you sure there's probably another way? Maybe the vent. And I was like, there's no vent. There's no holes. There's nothing. There's nothing. The only other thing I can think of is it got into the garage and was hiding in there, and somebody opened the garage door and it got it and snuck in or something. I was like, it's the only thing I can think of. But given how wet it was, I don't think that was the case. I think it just came up from the toilet. Yeah, it was terrifying. My wife is traumatized. She's probably listening to this right now.
I was about to ask, what is the aftermath?
She's traumatized. She will not use this bathroom. She refused to go in there. She keeps the door closes, and I was telling Joaquim earlier, wanted to lock it too, and I had to tell her that squirrels can't open doors. She's going to yell at me for saying that. But yeah, refuses to use the bathroom now, and rightfully so. It's traumatizing.
Yeah.
I mean, I will admit, I keep going around the house now and then casually opening the lid to the toilets here and there, just like, is there anything in there? Uh-oh. And I keep telling myself, it's one of those things that, like, never happens. So the fact that it happened was, like, probably a 1 in a million thing. The idea of it happening again is 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there's probably no chance it'll happen again, and yet it's still in the back of your head. So fucking weird. Nobody's believed me. The doctors didn't believe me. The Department of Environmental Health woman didn't. Nobody has believed me. Either part.
Matt, I believe you.
I know you believe me because you love me. And you believe in me.
Yes,
right?
I do.
Right?
I absolutely do.
Please? Yeah. So with that said, I would like to announce my new mission, hashtag Squirrel Genocide. Everybody out there, I want you to do everything in your power to kill as many squirrels as you can. Get a pellet gun, a BB gun, I don't care, shotgun, rifle, whatever you want. I want you to kill every squirrel you can find. We're going to eradicate squirrels from this earth. I wish I knew one of Hitler's lines because I would use that.
I would walk
change
off
it
this
to squirrel.
podcast.
Oh, that would be bad taste?
Just out of embarrassment.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be funny if I took one of his lines and changed Jews to squirrels, and then people would be like, I see what he did there.
No, the internet is not capable of nuanced jokes.
Okay. All right.
And I think it just wouldn't have landed
Is
anyway.
it okay that I said it instead of I said that I was going to do it?
No, it isn't.
That's still bad?
But I'm going to hold my judgment on you because I still love you. I think a little less of you now.
Oh, that's sad. I'll redeem myself somehow. You want more tea?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, I'll think of something.
Oh, man. So, unrelated to that craziness, I just beat Spider-Man. Thank you for letting me borrow it.
Yes! Spider-Man 2.
Absolutely.
PlayStation 5.
And we're just going to make friends so much.
I just also want to say I'm so sorry that it took me a million years to give it to you.
That's
I
fine.
kept telling you I was going to give it to you, and then I'd show up and we'd hang out. And
My
you would
son
be like,
got more anxious about you getting it.
When we went bowling, you were like, yeah, I thought you were going to bring Spider-Man 2. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck. And then we were at Taekwondo, and you're like, yeah, I thought maybe you were going to bring Spider-Man 2. And I went, fuck.
Now, mind you, it was not out of my excitement to play it, because I really, for me, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But my son asked me every day. And
yeah, which is why I felt bad.
To be honest, I love watching him get excited for things.
Sure. Well, especially things like that we have a passion
it's like
for, you know?
Like, this is my boy!
It's like, I love video games, and he loves video games, too.
But, so, I beat it, like, in, 3 days?
You definitely beat it quick, because you told me you beat it the other day, and I was like, I just gave it to you.
96% or something like that.
Yeah, but I was like, I just gave it to you.
And like even my son was like, "You beat it already?" And it feels short. It took me like a while to beat the first one, and like so I don't know, but playing through it, the opening, best opening to a video game I have ever played.
When you play games, usually you're used to those really hand-holding tutorial moments where it's you're walking and then it's like, a tree's in the way, press X to jump, and they just throw you right in.
Yeah, and mind you, they do those things, but it's like in the middle of the action.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, they just throw you right into the middle of the action, and shit's happening. You're not just walking through the woods.
They ingratiate you with the characters real quick.
Yep.
Especially if you know them, it's like, all right there, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
The opening is phenomenal. Definitely not a Game of the Year contender. I'm sorry.
No, which
it was beautiful.
I think we talked about this a little bit. How it was weird how many people were mad it didn't win Game of the Year. When there were so many good contenders.
Yeah, it was like there were games that didn't do anything special.
Right.
Like it was a good continuation of of the way this game runs.
Don't get me wrong. 10 out of 10.
Good.
Great game. Yeah. Excellent. But like you said, not bringing things to a new level or just changing the industry
me playing it, first of all, the game crashed on me once. Flat crashed on me.
Interesting.
I've had
if it crashed
so many glitches happen to me in this game.
I was going to say, glitches I've had happen.
I got punched. I got punched. Spider-Man bounced, teleported, and got stuck in a chandelier. And I had to redo an entire fight.
I got stuck in between, like, under a floor. I got stuck
I was just
once
like,
and had to
that's
restart.
bad.
Yeah.
I started the game, and, like, Peter's torso was gone.
One of my favorite glitch moments was when I was playing Days Gone. You remember Days Gone?
Yeah,
did you play that?
I did not.
There was one cutscene where it was just a floating head that came up to me. The whole cutscene was a floating head talking to me. And I was just like, yeah, well done, Sony.
I had one where all the enemies were invisible. Which is so difficult when there's just layers and layers of enemies.
Game?
Spider-Man.
In Spider-Man? Oh,
layers and layers of enemies just... Like, they were attacking me.
That game is just waves of enemies.
Yeah, I did a finisher... And electricity, all the particle effects and shit happen.
How satisfying are those finishers?
Oh, they're really... And they're fast enough where you don't get tired of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, though. You're just pushing two buttons. And
you're seeing
you feel like you just did like 100 push-ups.
But I do feel like I'm getting my ass kicked a lot because you get hurt just as fast as you do damage, which I do like.
I agree.
And healing is based on how much damage you do.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I like that
I do like the system. Because it's a momentum kind of thing. But, like, I did the finisher, it did, the little cutscene, all of a sudden the camera backs up and everybody's invisible. I just see a flashing light and then a rocket shoots at me.
Yeah, that's...
I'm just like, I'm getting shot at, but by nobody. Like, this is the ultimate
That's when you just wait
to
die and start over.
Like, it was bad. Some cutscenes got ruined. The ending upset me. Spoilers for whoever didn't beat this game.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, so most people have probably played it.
But first of all, I was yelling at Peter. I was yelling at everybody the entire fucking game because it seems like nobody listened to what anybody said directly.
It was a lot like most games where there's a lot of situations where you're just like, I don't think a person would do that in that situation.
Yeah, just like for instance, we've played the first game. This is supposed to be the same Peter, despite his face, from the first game.
Did they change his face?
Yeah, it's a different guy. Well, okay. In the remaster, it's this new guy's face.
Okay, why did they change his face?
Well, okay, so the apparently the official reason is that his face, the original guy's face, didn't fit the rig correctly.
Okay.
So it didn't work out, but that doesn't make sense to me, even though I don't work in that business.
I mean, you're working on a multi-million-dollar game.
It doesn't make sense to me. My belief, and I don't care what anybody says, is that they wanted to find a guy who looked like Tom Holland to try to drum up things from the movie. Because the guy looks like Tom Holland.
He does look more like Tom Holland. I didn't take notice of the fact that there was a difference, but thinking about Spider-Man 2, the guy looked more like Tom Holland.
And my thing is, I don't like Peter and Miles looking like they're close in age. Because even my son, who is 6, is like, he looks like a kid.
It didn't make sense because, they're supposed to be separated by 10 years?
Yeah.
And they really do look very similar in age.
I'm still one of those people who like the older face. I'm not a stan because that's stupid. Like, I got used to it, but I don't like it.
I haven't given enough thought yet.
And his neck looks huge to his head, his baby face head. I don't care if the guy really looks like that. It's weird to me. But that's just my personal take on it. But regardless, they made Peter act way more immature than he did even in the first game, which I didn't really I didn't really like. But for instance, Peter gets fired from his job in the beginning of the game. He was supposed to be a teacher or a substitute teacher. He got fired.
Okay.
Because he was too busy being Spider-Man. Because, that's always the story they tell about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, well, I can't balance my life. And,
right. Yes.
That's like his thing.
Yep.
But
it's always been. Every game, every movie.
Mary Jane, the reason why he couldn't, be in a relationship with her in the beginning of that game was that he would lie to her about his Spider-Man thing. And so he gets fired from his job, and the first thing he fucking does is lie to her.
Again, yeah.
Like, the first and I didn't just come off the first game. And
that was literally
so I can imagine how
in the first hour
is.
of the game, too.
Yep, and one of my pet peeves in any story is a character who doesn't learn from a mistake, especially if it's a big point of the story.
Well, I mean, any storytelling, whether it's a book, a movie, any storytelling form or medium, that's kind of, the character's supposed to grow. That's the measurement of a successful or whether or not a story is good.
Yeah, you're shoehorning in old things you did in the old game.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. And then we have Miles going through the same thing. I kind of like, Miles and Harry kind of feeling like, they want to feel important to Peter and help him out.
Yep. And
they're diametrically opposed. Which I do like the Harry Venom connection because one, I like Harry Osborn as a character, and I always feel like he gets a shit break when he's really a close. He's basically like Gwen Stacy to Spider-Man for me.
Okay, I can
so the
that.
connection with the being in love with being friends with Peter, and then the symbiote being in love with Peter and wanting to connect with him makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought that connection worked as much as I miss Eddie Brock.
Well, I was gonna say obviously. I think most people know Eddie Brock's usually Venom, but I don't have any deep connection to Spider-Man where Eddie Brock's that important to me that he has to be Venom. So to me, it was just okay, it's just a twist on
and
on the story.
the streamlining it works, especially if you're not going to bring Venom back, which I don't know if they're going to do. It doesn't seem like they're going to go that route.
It's too bad because it was they let you play as Venom for
real stupid.
They let you play as Venom for a little bit of time, and I guess they could have. Well, to your point, it was very Avengers combat.
Yes, it was just it was like when you play as the Hulk in the Avengers, you just press and swing at everybody.
Just swing. Yeah, you're right. So it's not very dynamic. So I guess it really wouldn't make a great standalone game to have Venom as the main character unless you're into that sort of.
Well, because they can do a better Venom. They could have, but it was just literally to give you that feeling of, hey, I'm playing as Venom.
Yeah, and they also made him invincible feeling.
Yeah, well, my son played with him, and he got excited, loved it, did the first round, was like, no, I'm good now. He just got out of the system. He was excited to play as Venom. That's what he wanted to do. And all of a sudden, he's just like, because it was nothing to it. He understood the whole point of it, because Spider-Man games are repetitive. That's kind of the nature of the thing. Yes. Swinging and gliding is the best thing in the game.
It's fun. Well, in that and the thing I liked about the first game and the second game was I found the side mission type stuff to actually be fun.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even though a lot of them were go here and collect that and find, I still found them fun. And you know what? Maybe the only reason I found them fun was because it was just swinging around the city to get to place to place.
Yeah.
But I didn't find them to be tedious like you typically would. Oh, dog's coming in. She's just gonna come lay down with us.
Okay.
She likes hanging out
I
here.
hated the most, actually, and it was a side gig, was chasing the flying metal birds as Miles.
Oh, yeah,
I
that was irritating.
hated those missions.
They were because it was timed. You had to catch them in a certain amount of time.
And the game isn't accurate enough to, like, if you stop for there was like, okay, it's between this and I think it's a Venom chase. No, it's a lizard chase when you're on the subway. But, like, if you run for even 2 steps, it'll say mission failed.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not swinging, moving as fast as possible for one section after
it was
a checkpoint.
a little too abusive with, or they didn't give you a lot of leeway.
Yeah, and mind you, I turned off the swing assist. I turned off, like, all that stuff.
Did you?
Yes, because I enjoyed, like, controlling the
You liked having
swing.
Spider-Man just kind of slam into the ground at random?
I only did that whenever I tried tricks. That's the only time I hit things.
Really?
Like,
I'm surprised you turned it off because it's like part of it's just to make it more fun, so it's just easier to just...
When I got to the bird chases, I turned it all the way up. I was like, no. And I just let the controller go, and he just glided along with it. I was like, I don't care now.
Well,
because I hated him that much.
Well, when you get in those jet streams, he automatically follows those.
If you have it off, you will hit the edge and then fly out of it. Especially if it's a sharp turn.
It does that on the regular setting too.
I did not, and when I turned it all the way up, I just let go of the controller.
On the regular setting, if you for the most part stay in it, but if you bump a little the wrong way, he'll veer out of it.
Yeah, I tested it.
But it's hard to do.
Yeah, I tested it when I turned it all the way up. I just put the controller down and it just, like Chase Assist, it just played it for me. I was like, good, because I don't want to
How many games have you played where you had it on a harder difficulty and you at some point changed the difficulty setting? Have you ever done that?
Like 2.
I think I'm probably about the same.
And the only 2 is Spider-Man and Jedi Survivor. And this is why...
Jedi Survivor is one of the ones I did it in.
The reason why I did for Jedi Survivor is because I forgot. I let my son play the game too.
Okay.
So, and the game, it can be brutal. God. Because I'm a Souls player, so
it can be brutal.
That's how I like to play.
And I don't like to play like that.
And so I'm playing it and, like, he wants to play, so I'll give him the controller.
Was Survivor the first one or the second one?
The second one.
Okay,
I didn't do it for the first one.
I did it in the first one.
Yeah, I didn't do it for the first
one. I
one.
don't know if I did it in the second one. Maybe I did it for both. I don't recall.
Well,
I know I did it for the first one.
I know for the second one, he's like, can I play it? I was like, cool, yeah. And I turned to, like, Padawan or whatever it is.
Sure.
And, he's playing, he's having fun. And then the next day I get on and I'm destroying everything.
Railing through everybody.
And about a half an hour pass and I beat a boss. I'm like...
You're like, damn, that was easy. I'm good.
So easy.
I'm good at this game.
Oh yeah, I fought that one guy in the tank.
All right, okay.
And I'm just like the one-armed dude. I was like, that was really easy. Why the...
You forgot, yeah.
And I felt like such a jackass.
No, I get it. I am, we talked about, I'm the opposite. I do not like Soul-style games. I like a little bit of a challenge. I don't want to have to do something 37 times. Yeah. And for me, it was a combination of that and the fact that I was just kind of getting bored of the combat. It was very repetitive, and I just felt like, I just want to finish this game and see how the story ends.
Yeah.
I was done. I was pretty far into it, too. I had to have been at least 3/4 away into the game when I finally was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
But that's how I felt about halfway through Spider-Man. Like, I was just like, I want to see where the story goes because I'm getting really tired of the repetitive nature of it. And even like Arkham game didn't feel that repetitive.
Some of the waves could be brutal, and like some of the did you do the Mysterio
yes,
missions?
I actually did those.
The timed ones were brutal. Like some of those were hard to get in the time.
There were the timed ones for me was the don't get hit in the timed ones. I always got hit once, except for like in one of them. The timed ones I actually got pretty good when I started realizing. If I just zip to them, hit, and then zip to the next person, and I could just start swinging them off the edges. And then
yep, I learned the same trick. And there was one that I could not beat until I figured that out. And I was like, oh, I can just knock them off.
Yeah.
I don't have to defeat them. I can just knock them off the edge. Yeah.
So,
not all
I
of
actually
them.
like the Mysterio storyline.
Oh, me too. And it wasn't all of the Mysterio missions. There was maybe 2 or 3 that I thought were just really kind of brutal, a little tough. But not to the point where like I got sick of them. Like I played through.
That's actually where the game crashed on me during the transition during the Mysterio thing.
Oh, when it
transitioned to the next part, it just crashed.
That's not surprising.
So the game was extremely glitchy. There was a lot of weird glitches, like lem glitches and stuff like that.
Well, it's Sony, man. Have you played a Sony game in a while? I know you just got the PlayStation 5. So.
No, I play a lot of Sony games. That's
have
what I'm
you?
saying.
Okay.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's EA and Sony, so I get it. No, I'm sorry. EA is Jedi Survivor. I'm playing them at the same time.
Right.
I just beat Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's Bungie. I'm sorry. Bungie, right? Yeah.
I don't know. It's first party though. It's a first party. It's
yeah,
a
it's first party. It's first party thing under Sony.
Any of their
but
first
the
party
game was
games.
really glitchy. Like the games that were contenders for
Game of the Year.
For Game of the Year were way less glitchy than
Like
Spider-Man.
what did we have? We had Breath of the Wild. We had Alan Wake, which is what won, right?
Yeah.
2.
Alan Wake 2, which that one is the one that won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 won. I'm trying to remember what else. There was one more, at least.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
I'm drawing a blank, but I remember having this argument. I was like, I've played most of those games, and they weren't as glitchy as Spider-Man was. Like, and none of them crashed on me.
Right. Yeah.
Like
That's
mid-fight. Like,
especially on a PS5, you shouldn't be having those issues.
It should not collapse.
No.
Not crash.
At that point, you know it's software.
But the load times were great. The game was still beautiful. I hate the shoehorning in of the final costumes in the final scene because you can get a lot of cool screenshots, and I have to look at Miles' ugly ass like new costume.
Oh, right, when they got I
can't even do the recolor of it and still have it. Like I have to have that costume, and I was like, I hate this one.
Yeah.
So like, let me take the pictures I want to take. Why shoehorn in? Like force the Adidas costume.
I know.
For me. But yeah, it was just
Did you 100% it yet, or you were close, right?
I'm close.
You plan on it?
Just beat it yesterday. I got enough. My son wants me to get all the costumes, so I'm probably going to, because he likes changing costumes.
Got it. Yeah, which you just gotta collect the tokens, I believe, to unlock, right?
So
you gotta
that's probably what I'm
missions
just going to do,
those.
side stuff.
Well, if you're at like 90-something%, you're almost there anyway.
Yeah, the DLC, the free DLC is coming out, so
you
New
do
Game
that.
Plus, and let him play through the game on Friendly Neighborhood and collect whatever he wants to collect.
Right.
But, I mean, it's just, I don't see where everybody's like, this game is the fucking shit. Like, you're a simpleton.
Yeah, it's a great game,
it's
but
good popcorn. It's really good popcorn.
But it's
not worth.
You got to think about movies too. Like there are movies that are great and fun. Like I'm not gonna say
most
Marvel movies, but like some of the not more recently.
I
but
guess.
Like the first Guardians movie, awesome movie, fantastic, one of the best movies ever. It's so much fun. Not movie of the year by any means.
By any means.
It's because it's
popcorn.
It is what it is. It's
like,
that's a good way to put it, right?
It's a popcorn movie, and this game is really good junk food. I think technically it shows what it's a good proof of concept of how you can like have the camera and the computer move together to create the illusion of a seamless like world.
Yes,
and it's one of the better open world games.
Yes,
but not Game of the Year.
No, yeah, definitely. Just not even a contender really, which I think it was. Yeah, the story was kind of lackluster. I think I was saying earlier, I found that some of the side missions were like more like the Cletus.
That was the best one. I thought that was good.
Those side missions were kind of more compelling than the main storyline.
I like what they did with a lot of the side characters. I hated the weird thing where everybody has to beat the shit out of each other while talking to get their point across. Yeah. Like the fact that Peter and Mary Jane literally had to punch each other and to have an adult conversation with one another is so...
Yeah.
Comic books don't even fucking do that all the time.
Nice side... You probably already know this, though, but did you know that they recorded 2 audio tracks for everything? They have one where he's at rest and one where he's moving.
And one where he's wearing the black suit. For certain
when
things.
He's angry. And, yeah. But in general, if they have an audio track that plays if you're just walking and not doing anything... exercising,
if you're swinging or something like that,
running or
if there's
fighting.
a crime that opens up, they go, hold on, and they'll beat up, and it's like, oh, okay,
but
I'm back, and then the people start the conversation.
But I like the fact that like just regular Spider-Man's voice is like when he's not doing anything, he's calm, and then like he sounds all winded and stuff when he's fighting.
No, that's really good. Yeah, I thought that was really good.
Just an interesting little thing that
they started that in the last game.
They did, yeah,
and they made it even better in this one. Yeah, and I thought again,
it's just one of those things where you wouldn't think about it, but it actually adds a little more. I don't want to say immersion. That's the word I was looking for. You're like just finding my words today. All day you've been finding my words. All day I've been going like, and you say the word, and I'm like, yeah.
I can't do that for myself.
Well, you're finding my words. So thank you. Yeah. So Spider-Man 2, good game. Not necessarily game of the year. I'm not really playing anything right now. Did you download the Silent Hill demo? Mini game?
No, but because I'm not going to play it, but I did watch a video essay on it.
And what did the video essay have to say? have to say.
Well, the sheer fact that it's about like SA in Russia was kind of a thing that was upsetting me, and they said they didn't handle it too well. It was more so about the story, not the gameplay.
I just didn't find it fun at all, or
a lot of
very
people
Silent
said-
Hilly.
A lot of people said it feels like a scary story told by Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's more like a Stranger Things story than it
Well-
would be Silent Hill. It's definitely not Silent Hill.
Yeah,
to some of these people.
to me it felt more like I was playing like a Telltale game or something.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yes,
Like where I'm just kind of going, like what's that game where you walk through the house? Oh, that was a great game.
Ethan was here, or
yes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, where you're just kind of walking through a story.
it's a walking simulator.
Yeah, there
but
wasn't
because
game-
they're all okay. So here's the thing: Konami and whoever else licensed Silent Hill, they always seem to miss the point because they always seem to try to replicate either PT or the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah.
They never just go back to the first and say, okay, the best new quote unquote was Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which tried something completely new. And despite its motion sensor bullshit that you have to deal with, which I hate it was on the Wii.
Then I might not have played Shattered Memories.
Shattered Memories was really good. It like psychoanalyzed you and then warped the game based on what you looked at, what you talked to, who you talked to, how you talked to them. The Rorschach test they do in the beginning, all that crazy shit.
I haven't enjoyed a Silent Hill since 3. You know, the first 3 followed
The first
their own
3 were really
storyline,
good.
and then 4 came out, and it was just like a completely different thing.
Well, it was a different game.
Yeah, but
No, I mean literally.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know, and that's why I don't understand. Like,
They started losing the plot by then.
I mean, Resident
stopped
Evil
it
did the
down
same
here.
thing, right? I mean, they went through the first 3 or 4,
4.
and then they
fourth.
went to 5, and it was like an arcade game. And 5 and 6 were both kind of like.
Well, okay.
Oh, 6. Sorry, 6 was the arcade
Let's stop
game.
naming them. Let's stop naming them because it was Resident Evil 1, 2, Nemesis, then Code Veronica.
They're numbered.
Which are technically 3 because 4 is the arcade one with Leon.
Okay, I'm not counting the
Over-the-shoulder
offshoots.
shooter.
I'm not counting the
Code
side
Veronica
games.
and Nemesis. 3 it's 3 Nemesis technically.
Right.
Code Veronica is not an off game. It is literally should have been numbered because it was a full.
Okay, I'm just
game.
talking about the numbered games. There's
Then you're
lots
talking
of.
about 4. Then you're saying.
I'm talking about 4 with Leon battling the.
Yes, because
villagers.
you just said 6. Asshole.
4 was still. Okay,
They went by Final Fantasy rules.
let
That's
me
the
go
problem.
back. Let me start over.
Okay.
Fuck you. Let me start over. 1, 2, and 3 were all the same runaway type of format.
It was tank controls.
4 was a little more actions. 5 was
over
very
the shoulder
similar. Right.
action. Yes.
So they made a switch there. 6 went to straight up like arcade game fucking bullshit.
Okay. So this is funny. So 5 came out. We remember it was more like 4, but you're just shooting black people in
Yes.
in Africa.
Yeah.
You'd be
In co-op though.
and
In co-op.
punching boulders in volcanoes.
You got to shoot black people with another
co-op.
person, okay?
Yeah, and it's a black lady, so it's okay. But with 5, so 4 like 5, 6 or giraffe blowjob game. Which, if you look at the 6,
logo, yeah.
the logo's
Yeah.
so weird. So weird
Can't
that the
unsee it.
human brain just
You just can't
unsee it. It was weird because, like, in Chris's campaign, it was like playing Gears of War.
Yeah.
Like, it was cover shooter.
Yep.
Playing Leon's campaign started off like Resident Evil 4 and then turned into cover shooter again.
That's why I call it arcade mode.
Yeah, it was
Resident
just
Evil.
so weird.
And then 7 and 8, they
7, 8,
kind of went
was
back to
first
the
person.
Right, so
Seven-
they kind of went back to the original, run from things.
Yeah, and
not
then
a lot
remake,
of ammo,
well, then
and they were
Remake
great.
Came out, and it was like a cross between not cover shooter, but it was a cross between like Forest gameplay with
the remakes.
Yeah, with the atmosphere of
Yeah.
the old games, and then
I only played the
Village was like that.
I only played 2's remake, which was great.
Okay,
But yeah, Village and Biohazard were both really good. They were excellent.
Yeah.
They were reimaginings of the series that did a good job. But my point was Silent Hill did the same thing. They tried to go a different direction and it just totally failed. Resident Evil just kind of failed and then kept plowing through it until they got back to something that worked.
7 was just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It
Yeah,
the
7 was
first person.
Biohazard with the family. But it was the same thing. But it was like
Yeah.
Resident Evil. It was you're searching house, looking
Yeah.
for items. You have limited ammo.
Literally Resident evil. House is evil. Like,
Yeah. I love. Oh, that game was great. And then Village was pretty close.
Village was close.
Village had great characters.
I do like the
had,
Universal
Lady,
Monsters take on it.
it had,
that was really good.
What's her name? Lady whatever her name is that everybody wanted to fuck because she was big and had giant tits.
Well, she was, Big Mommy Milkers, please step on me. That's what she was.
Yeah.
Like, to everybody.
Absolutely.
God.
Talk about Rule 34. You couldn't avoid it.
It made me gross saying that. Like, my tongue.
Mommy milkers.
Ugh, I hate that term, but I love saying it disparagingly. But it just,
it's making me laugh because the AT&T. I don't want to get into it.
Did you just do the text thing?
What text thing?
Yeah, it makes me laugh, but you don't laugh. Did you just do that?
No, I said thinking about it makes me laugh. I giggled a minute ago.
No, you didn't.
We're
gonna play it back.
No, we're not gonna play it back right now.
No, not now.
People, you can play that back, and I was smiling. I was definitely going.
I could smile. That doesn't mean I'm laughing.
Oh, you know what?
You know the text thing too. When you see somebody like, man, this is funny as shit.
All right, listen back to the recording. It's not like I went, it makes me laugh. LOL. I went, it makes me laugh.
You didn't do the huff.
That's the difference maker?
That is the difference maker if you say it makes me laugh.
All right, whatever. Fuck you. Let me get to my point. They had an article about the Lily, the AT&T, Milana, I forget her name. They had another article about her, about getting...
Why?
I don't know why it came up again, but they had another article in the New York Times like within the last couple of weeks about her again, about her sex issues. And in the article, it says, see, I'm laughing now. In the article, it was talking about the harassment, she said, and then it said that, I didn't know this, it said people online began using the moniker Mommy Milkers for her.
Ew, so
gross. Yeah, but it's so funny laughing. I was like, Mom, that's what they came up with? Mommy Milkers? That's what the internet came up with to call this woman?
That sounds exactly in line with what the internet comes up with.
I know, it's so silly.
Because to me, silly. Okay, this is why it makes me feel so gross. Because I know.
Why not like Honkers McGee?
Like,
I don't know.
Like, for me, like, I can't... The follow-up in my brain whenever I hear the term Mommy Milkers is
funny.
Is Mommy Milkers.
Like,
that's the first thing that plays in my head. Like me, myself, and Irene, when the woman's like breastfeeding the baby.
Yeah. Well, now you ruined it for me.
That plays in my head every fucking time.
Well, now you just ruined it for me. Every time I heard the phrase, I laughed because I thought it was silly. Not because of although, again, like, I don't. No, I don't want to.
Does it make you laugh?
I don't want to sound sexist again. I just like.
But you'd rather sound like Hitler?
No, it's just. It's just like when celebrities complain about that stuff, I'm always like, but you wanted to be a celebrity, like. You do a job for a commercial.
Yeah, but and then all of a sudden everybody's obsessed about your tits. Like, I know, and in a weird, not even like in a normal, like, oh, she's very sexy. In a weird, Mommy Milkers.
I know. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah, but you're saying it's okay. You should be okay with it.
No. I'm not saying it's all right or you should be okay with it. She shouldn't have to deal with harassment online, as no woman should. But at the same time, I'm like, you have to know going in, if you're gonna be on television, people are going to say things about you and your appearance. Doesn't matter who you are.
Oh, no. Very true. But that's not on her to be okay with. Maybe some people should just
all right, you're
cool
right.
it down. Because imagine you're in a commercial. You're not just wrong. Imagine you're in a commercial, and your commercial is about tea, not even tea. It's about, like, Stanley Cups. Like, that is your whole shtick. It's Stanley Cups. And you just so happen to wear shorts during those commercials. And somebody goes, ooh, teabag daddy. Ooh, look at those little teabags.
Listen, okay.
Like, that's so fucking weird.
If she didn't want people to talk about him, she shouldn't have had such big tits, okay?
You fuck.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, you fuck.
I'm just kidding. Jesus Christ. But no, you're right. I mean, that doesn't mean she should have to put up with it.
Like people,
or that it's okay.
Here's where the responsibility on her end should come in my opinion, is she shouldn't let people know it bothers her. Because what would happen is I feel like the fact that she talked about it bothering her, now people are going out of their fucking way to be as weird and as gross as possible.
Absolutely.
Because there's too many people, especially online, who really like to fucking jerk it to upsetting somebody directly.
You are absolutely right. No, I guess my point again, it's like even with like paparazzi, like famous people complain about the paparazzi following around, wanting pictures all the time, and it's like, well, I get not wanting that to happen, but at the same time, I'm like, you have to expect it. If you want
Yes.
to be a famous actor or actress, then you gotta expect that
for
to
instance, like, remember when
Doesn't mean it's
Tobey
okay.
Maguire and or Will Smith, they both did this.
Right.
When paparazzi were around them, and that one paparazzo came up and they pushed and or punched them. I think both
And
of
you
them
know what?
punched them.
I'm fine
And-
with that.
Well, no, I'm fine with it too. But after that happened, all those paparazzi were trying to be the next one to get punched.
Yeah.
By that celebrity because
yeah.
they allowed it to happen, so they
true.
became more.
So back to your point, don't
Like,
let people know it bothers you.
Don't like. Yes, it bothers you. We get it. Talk to your therapist about it. Do not
Don't go
announce
online
it
and do an Instagram video and a fucking New York Times
because you're not going to
article.
find sympathy, especially on the internet.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
I mean,
people who sympathize are going to do nothing, and the people who don't sympathize are going to do the opposite.
all I can think about is any shithead that reads that article is just like, oh shit, now I'm gonna go call her mommy milkers as much as possible.
Yeah, it's literally not even like so you don't bother me. It's for you. That's my feeling is do it for you because it's not going to help that you're venting to all these fucking psychopaths out there.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. You make a good point. All right. Well, now that I've made myself look terrible as usual.
I feel so bad sometimes.
Why?
Because I get a kick out of making you uncomfortable.
I know, but I walk myself into it, so it's okay. I deserve it.
No, but I did all this like minor preaching, and yet here I am like just giggling over the fact that I'm making you feel self-conscious about your opinion.
Well, yes, but that's okay. That makes for good content. People want to listen to me feel uncomfortable. Maybe.
Because I know there's somebody
Nobody
out there who's
cares.
going to make me feel uncomfortable about my opinion. Like, well, no.
Yeah, you're
So-
wrong.
I mean,
Man, that shirt
to
sucks.
somebody I'm wrong. I mean, I married that person, but... you know,
Your pants are weird.
just keep going. Keep going. I want this.
Yeah,
I want this in my life.
you got teeth. You
all
got
of them.
teeth.
Every
Yeah,
single
you
one
got
of them.
teeth in your face. Your face that you have.
Which face?
And your ear. Wait, what?
I wish you could see the concern that crossed his face once he realized.
Wait, what did I do?
No, you like your whole like.
I know.
face dropped.
What face are you talking about? I'm confused.
Well,
Which
you
face?
were doing like this.
Do you have more than one face?
Maybe.
Where is it?
What
You
do
got
want
one of
to-
those little Total Recall guys?
Oh
on
no, it's not sentient.
on your stomach.
Mm.
You know, my mom thinks that I had a twin that I consumed in the womb.
Your mom thinks a lot of things. that
No,
are-
legit. My mom
Oh,
thinks
I believe
like
that she
because
believes
they
it.
thought that there were two heartbeats like early on, and then there was one. They think I absorbed my twin.
You Pac-Manned your twin.
I think I did. I technically have the best of two worlds in me.
I don't think the world needs two of you.
I think with that, what happened was there was a good and an evil twin, and I'm the evil twin. I ate the good one.
See,
I absorbed
I grow a beard.
I don't know why I
very
keep
well,
saying
that's
ate.
why.
I was a fetus. You know, fetus don't eat.
They
There's
don't
cells.
eat,
I wasn't
they
even
absorb.
fetus. I was like
They
cells.
absorb.
Yeah, it just absorbed the other one. I always wondered why I had an extra toe.
They
You
just
know,
wonder you have a heart behind your heart. That's why.
is that why my heart's so big? They keep telling me there's something wrong.
There's a seam.
Why does my heart have a seam in it?
Jesus.
Why do I have 3 butt cracks?
Oh God.
Wait, that wouldn't make sense. 2, 2 butt cracks. Why'd I go with 3?
The middle crack is just vibrating between the two. Ah!
It's like a fin in the middle.
Oh.
I can
Oh,
move it like a rudder.
The mental visual there is just awful.
Okay, so what else has been happening? What else is going on
Oh my
lately?
God.
I got into a fight with my therapist.
That was weird.
Oh no, not my therapist,
No,
my
the
psychiatrist.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I guess it's not a lot to say. I went to I've been seeing the same psychiatrist for years, and my brother's been seeing this new psychiatrist, and it had clearly, like, very noticeably made a big difference. And he was recommended. I go, talk to him, and I was like, I can't hurt. I'll go get a second opinion.
Yeah.
So I did, and he gave me some new scripts and stuff, which I didn't start. And then I talked to my old psychiatrist the other day, and I tried to explain to her, like, hey, I went and I tried, I saw somebody else get set, and I prefaced everything I just said, like, my brother's been seeing him, thought it might be a good idea, I go get a second opinion and see what he thought, and she just, like, tore into me. and just had this nasty, cunty, maybe I shouldn't say cunt. No, fuck that. Cunty attitude. And was just fucking belligerent and awful. Just so unprofessional. Just like yelling at me. She couldn't believe I went and saw another doctor without telling her.
You know, like a jilted girlfriend.
And then literally was just like, well, you have to keep seeing him. And I was like, I don't really want to. I didn't really like I wasn't really comfortable with the experience. I didn't really want to be there. Sorry. I put my head behind the microphone. It's like, I don't really necessarily want to. What are you looking at?
I was looking at the clamp on the mic.
Oh. I was like, I don't really want to go there. I just, like I said, I just wanted to see maybe what somebody else thought. And she's like, well, you have to continue your I don't know what she said, journey with him for now. You didn't have to keep seeing him.
Journey.
I was like, so you won't.
Your journey.
Maybe that's not the word. I don't know. And I was like, so you're saying you won't see? And she's like, no, you have to. No, you can't come back here. You can't. I won't see you anymore. And I was just like, okay. And I told her I was like, I'm kind of insulted.
This was over the phone, right?
Yeah. I was like, we've been working together for years. I'm kind of insulted that you'd like get so mad at me about it. And she's like, I'm not mad.
You're the first sign of being mad.
I was like, okay. But it was so weird. It's so bizarre. I said, like, that's a term. Get a second opinion. Yeah. Like, it's a thing people say.
All I can imagine is that she just, like, slams the phone down, sobs a little bit, turns, and a picture of you on the wall. She, like, touches it lightly.
It's got hearts on it or something.
Just, like, lightly touches it with
saying
her
she was in love with
fingers.
Me? Nah, that's...
To react like that?
I know, it's really weird.
I mean, unless, like, she has, like, a gambling problem and your money is, like, the only thing.
She's like, that's the only thing keeping me from falling into the hole.
Like, fuck! I'm in the red now!
They're gonna break my fucking legs. Yeah, it was bizarre. I've never had...
So I heard you don't have that O'Sullivan money ready for us.
Where's that $25 copay, huh?
Like, god damn.
I've never had... really another human being, especially in a professional environment, respond to me in that
not
particular
related to
way.
You, not like have like a real like relationship with you. Yeah,
just very bizarre. I was very put off. So it's just like, okay, I guess that's that.
And I know sometimes people say like, you know, you don't know what anybody's going through, so you shouldn't treat them a certain way or some shit. Like, but her job.
Her job is mental health.
It's mental health, and she's acting that unhinged.
I should at the end I should have just been like, I'm gonna go kill myself.
I'm starting to think. Oh God. I'm really starting to think that there was red flags.
I can't believe that you're talking to me like this. I just don't think I could deal with this. And I just want you to know that I appreciate the time we had with you. And if you don't talk to me again, which you won't, because you're definitely not, because I'm not gonna be here tomorrow.
You see, this is the anger that you got from like that last phone call from that friend of yours.
I just want to throw. I just want someone to feel the angst I feel. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, just
I want to throw it back
outward to everybody.
I mean, God, what do we want to do for a topic today? How far? We've been recording for like 48 minutes already.
I think we are the squirrels at this point. We just can't stay on topic.
I mean, we can talk about drivers because we were bitching about drivers earlier, and I know one of our early episodes was. Oh, we talked about drivers. The bumper sticker episode, our first episode. Yeah. We did talk about drivers. We could talk about. Let's see. Gatekeepers. That's kind of like a deep one, though.
I mean, there's always gatekeeping, especially like being a Souls player. There's gatekeeping is heavy with that.
Gatekeeping is heavy. Like, I mean, it applies to everything.
Well, yeah, no, it does because everybody wants to.
All right, you want to talk about Gatekeepers?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we're going to talk about. I guess we'll talk about Gatekeepers for a little bit. You guys have to bear with me here as I find the topic.
You stuck with slide.
It's time to begin the complaining.
Yeah, so our topic today is...
It's time.
I hit the button again. Oops. Well, I can't edit that out easily. Our topic today is Gatekeepers.
Not Gaykeepers. He said that really fast.
What's a gatekeeper?
People who keep the gay.
Like they keep gay people, or they just keep the gay?
Keep the gay.
What, like slaves?
Yeah.
Gay slaves?
Oh, maybe.
Like Mr. Slave from South Park?
Ooh.
He's a gatekeeper. No, Mr. Garrison would be the gatekeeper.
Oh, well, you know, if you're, like, it could be...
Or, like, keeping it real. I'm keeping it gay. I'm a gatekeeper.
Could do that. That's us re-owning it.
All right, maybe we should talk about gatekeepers instead. A topic both of us would be so well versed
Yeah,
on.
you keep them like bees. Like like a beekeeper, but for
But
gay.
instead of making
oh my
honey,
god!
instead of honey, they make semen?
Well, no, you have a hive of twinks.
You gotta go cultivate the semen.
Oh my god! That's such a good skit, though.
That is a good skit.
Like, hello, my.
Have you seen that new movie, The Beekeeper? I heard it's pretty good.
I've never heard of it.
Well,
Did I miss something?
This is a good exchange we're having here. Trying to open up a conversation. I never heard of it.
Was that yes and you on that question?
I don't know. You could have been like, oh no, what's it about? Nope, never heard of it.
Well, knowing you, I was expecting you to just continue talking about it.
I haven't seen it. It's a new Jason Statham movie. It's supposed to be like pretty decent compared to the movies he's
Is
made
it
lately.
like every movie he's ever in?
Every movie he's ever in is pretty much the same. Yes, but
I'm Jason Statham. I'm going to punch you in the face now.
I'm
Like that's.
I'm gonna take care of you.
I'm going to whisper you to death, and then I'm going to kill you.
I'm gonna
Like,
keep you safe. Come with me.
That's everything he does.
Get in the car. I'm gonna take a drive.
I act tougher than I really am. That's just how I
You
am.
think he's really a pussy?
Oh, I don't think he's a pussy.
What was the
but
movie
I
he
do
was
think
in?
he's not as tough as
Oh.
his characters are.
What was the movie with Melissa
Except
McCarthy?
the one time he
as
fought a fucking
spy?
shark.
Do you remember that movie? Was it just called The Spy?
Maybe.
Melissa
I
McCarthy
ignore her
was a
movies.
spy, but it was a comedy, and he was in it, and he was supposed to be funny, and I was just like, no, that's not your lane, bud. Your lane is you pretend to be a badass.
The last Melissa McCarthy vehicle I remember was when she was a
like
superhero.
how you said vehicle.
Because that's what it
Are you
is.
fancy pants?
No, because
Vehicle.
very specific actors, in my opinion, have vehicles. Where it's just like they make movies for them specifically.
Oh,
like The Rock
okay.
gets vehicles.
I get what you're saying.
Kevin
like the
Hart
movie is
gets
made for the
vehicles.
actor, not
Melissa
the other.
McCarthy gets vehicles. Like that's
Okay.
their.
All right, fine.
It's just an automated moving thing.
I was gonna make
for
fun
their
of
career.
the stupid thing you said, but I guess it wasn't stupid.
That's-
All right, gatekeeping. Speaking of gatekeeping, we could talk about that.
I'm sorry, I can't get over a hive of twinks. My brain is just stuck on that.
a hive
now.
of twinks.
Like I need that skit
Jason
in my life.
Statham in a hive of twinks.
No,
All
you
right.
get in there and you make as much cum as you're supposed to.
That's pretty good. You go. We need to get at least 3 liters per hour. We don't make it, we're gonna get in trouble.
No,
Boss
you
gonna
suck
be
off
mad.
them bass.
Okay, gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Everywhere from school. The schools our kids go to, there's
Oh,
gatekeeping.
Jesus.
Sports, there's gatekeeping. Video gaming, there's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Social media, there's gatekeeping. I mean, like, I could talk about gatekeeping in the NHL and video games in general being things that just drive me fucking crazy because I don't understand the idea behind gatekeeping, right? Like things we like as a whole, aren't we supposed to want it to expand and be shared and
Yeah.
more people to be into it and to be more popular? But there are people that are such crazy gatekeepers, like fan gatekeepers of like sports teams. To me, are nuts. Like, you know, you're not allowed to like this team. I've liked this team for 20 years. You only liked them for 10 years. You're not allowed to like this. No, they're my team. How dare you jump on this bandwagon? But even gatekeeping in general with like the NHL and seeing people that don't want the game to grow, don't want it to become more popular and get more fans. They don't want, you know, they just opened up the women's hockey league. It's fucking great. It's good.
Really?
Nobody expected it to be what it is. Those women play hard. They're checking. They're hitting.
I feel
they're
like
playing like real NHL hockey.
Maybe it's me, but I feel like it's the same effect as like watching college people play. Is that they're like, look, we gotta prove ourselves. This is it.
Well,
and so you get that passion and that energy.
I think
from
there's a
it.
lot of that. But, you know, female hockey's been women's
'Cause I don't
hockey,
know anything
whatever,
about
whatever the fuck you're supposed to say.
women's hockey.
Well, it's been popular. It's not like women's basketball where it's kind of off the break, but women's hockey, especially in Canada, you know, they're crazy about it. There's superstars that are well known, even though there's not a profession. There hadn't been a professional league, but when you watch international play and friendlies play and stuff, it's very you know, it's like watching an NHL All-Star game. There's not a lot of checking. They don't hit each other a lot. And this women's league, the first game, man, they're going at it, these ladies. They're just slamming the fuck out of each other, checking each other, beating the shit. It was great because everybody was just so happy and impressed with, like, this is awesome.
So good.
Like, these women are going out there and they're playing the game they want to play it. They're not playing it the way they're being told to play it. They're like, this is hockey. We want to play like this.
Yes.
And it's not like they're being
You're
told
not treating us a certain way.
Right.
This is
They're
just,
not being told.
We are players.
Hey, you don't want to get hurt. They're out there playing hockey the way they know it and the way they want to play it. And the games are good, man. I've seen the first game that they had, I watched. Some of the hits they threw, I was like, dude, that's a penalty in the NHL. Like, that hit that woman just threw, holy shit. But there are people that are like gatekeepers for this. They want it to fail. They want this women's league to fail. And even the NHL is not doing, I think, as much as they should to incorporate the PWHL into their culture so that people, you know, cross promotion and stuff like that. And it's just crazy to me. It's like, it's more hockey. Do you like hockey? Yeah? Well, it's more hockey for you to watch. Like, why are you gatekeeping this sport and saying you don't want a professional women's league, right?
I've been finding that with the UFC. Also, just you know what? I'll admit, I haven't seen many people try to gatekeep UFC specifically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just because fighting. Like, but I have seen people who've shown, like, well, I like this fighter and I like this fighter, trying to say, well, no, this fighter's mine. Like, if you don't like this, then why would you like that? Like, that, I think, is a form of gatekeeping I found really fucking weird.
Right.
It's like, why can't I like them both? Even if they're going against each other. Like,
yeah. Oh, that why, tribalism aspect of, like, this is my guy and you're not allowed to, like, oh. Yeah, crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I like I said, you know, anything you care about, I feel like you should want it to expand. You should want more people to be into it. So why you would want to keep people out of it? And
I was gonna feel like I feel like there's a thin line between, you know, people gatekeeping and shit talking. Because when people shit talk, it's supposed to be for fun. Like, you know, we do in the Army, we did that all the time. We shit talk each other.
Right.
But it gets really bad when you get those few people who don't get it. And so they have like a personal hate against the thing that you like because they're reflecting the fact that they don't know how to shit talk or can't take being shit talked.
Right.
And so I find that really sad. Overall.
It's just you know, when there are things that, you know, people get so protective over, like, that are not yours. Like, it's not yours. Like, a video game is not yours. A console.
It's whoever bought it.
It's not, there's millions sometimes of people that are into this thing. And the fact that you're not willing to let new people come in and you're just like, no, this, you're not allowed to like this. This is my thing. I'm not, you know, you're not allowed to be a part of it. It's just so fucking stupid to me.
You know, I don't
get
even
so
see
excited
kids doing that as much either. Like, you know, kids do that. Like, you're a girl, you don't like this thing.
Right.
You can't like this thing, right?
Yeah.
I hear it more innocently. Like, girls don't usually like this.
Right.
Like, at least, you know, from what I've seen. But, like, for video games.
Yeah.
People still online bitch about, like, oh, you're a girl? Well, what's this? Like, what's the color of this character's, like, name in the third season of the
that level of gatekeeping?
I was like, is that real? Do people fucking really do that now?
Where people think there's different levels of fandom, like you're not as good. You know, I know everything, so you're not allowed to like it. You don't know as much as me about this.
So
you're not allowed to like
on
it.
my level.
Yeah, you're not allowed. You're not
So
even
what
just not on my
king
level.
of liking things?
I know it makes no sense to me. And you like you said, video gaming is a great example.
Yeah,
it's
like,
definitely
kids
gotten
don't
better.
Really fucking do that.
No, I don't see that with kids so much at all. I mean, watching my kids
that are secure with themselves anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, watching my kids, they'll do whatever they feel like doing.
Yeah,
you know, if one sees the other doing something. My son will paint his nails if he sees my daughter painting her nails because he always thinks it looks fun.
Yeah, you're a boy. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, like, and it's just
like, okay. Why?
Why? Yeah, why? Like
he has nails, doesn't he?
Yeah, like why can't he do that? It just doesn't make any sense. But video games is a really good example because I mean it's gotten better, but women being gatekept out of the video gaming industry.
We've been playing games for fucking years.
Right,
are you serious?
But the idea that people are like, I don't know why, not even look at women as second-class gamers, but like it's not for you.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, another thing is really big, comedy.
Oh yeah, comedy too.
Now here's where it's really weird, because a big thing about comedy is relatability.
Sure.
So a lot of women can relate to men in their jokes because it's just like simple jokes. A lot of them are simple jokes. Right. So there's a lot of male comedians who just make vulgar jokes. Like, well, I don't consider myself a comedian, but we make a lot of vulgar jokes.
Sure.
And then there's other things in between. The more famous female comedians is usually just vulgar joke with nothing in between. But when there's female comedians who really like put in fucking jokes.
Right. There are, sorry, go ahead.
And the ones that just do vulgar jokes were the first ones to try to do the reverse gatekeeping thing.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you don't think women are funny because they're women. It's like, no.
No, we don't think you're funny
not
because...
relatable.
Well, that was a big issue in the comedy industry maybe a few years back. Mm-hmm. It was like a stereotype, but it was true, where a lot of women comedians, it was just vagina joke.
Because they weren't... And I think half of it was they weren't allowed to by the men who were gatekeeping, too. Like, as a feedback loop.
Sure.
It really is a feedback
loop.
loop.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's their fault in any way, shape, or form, but that's kind of like, you look at Amy Schumer...
That's exactly who I was thinking of, too.
And, there's other examples.
There's a few.
She was the big one. Ellen was around before that. And she was
Uma Thurman. Not Uma Thurman, God. Tracy Ullman. I sounds like Uma Thurman.
Yeah, Tracy
Ullman. She was an impressionist.
Current date, Michelle Wolf.
Oh,
fucking hilarious. One of my favorite comedians.
Jordan Jensen is one of my favorite female comedians right now.
I don't think I've heard of Jordan Jensen.
Fucking hilarious.
But Taylor Tomlinson, she's doing the late night show she just got now. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nikki Glazer can be funny. She does sometimes. She gets into the just make a bunch of vagina jokes too.
Yeah,
but she can be really funny too.
But here's the thing:
Elijah
making vagina
Schlesinger
jokes
can be
still
funny.
Isn't bad.
It's not bad, but when they make it the core of their routine, that's where people.
And these are just
and it
stand-ups.
gives people. It's not the jokes that are bad, but it gives people a target to go. Yes. Oh, that's all you do. You just make jokes in that lane.
Like,
blah, blah,
okay,
blah, blah, blah.
For every Melissa McCarthy, there's a Caitlin Olsen. Caitlin Olsen,
sure.
who's not even nearly as big as Melissa McCarthy.
No, not even remotely close.
Is 20 times funnier.
Way funnier
than her.
Way funnier, absolutely.
Like and they do similar humor with the physical comedy and the absurdist character.
Yeah, but her delivery.
Caitlin Olsen is fucking perfectly funny.
On
the
point.
Mick was greatly hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm surprised I didn't make it.
It's all in her delivery.
I've seen her. I watched her
and
on
her
the podcast.
Mannerisms.
Yeah, on the podcast, she's like normal person.
Yeah.
She's a mom.
Yeah.
That's the way she is. But when she is playing Dee, she's fucking
perfect.
Perfect.
Just the funniest fucking shit.
And it's just, I feel like, again, it's the Hollywood feedback loop where we think that the bar is Hollywood. It's like, no, they're the taste makers. They're the ones telling us what is funny, what is good.
True.
And then there's assholes out here that want to feed that narrative, and that's where the gate kind of closes on everybody.
Right.
And we happen to think that that's what the best thing is. Like, no, that isn't. Stop looking to our leaders,
I know,
quote unquote, to tell us what is good and what isn't.
But then where do you think the video game gatekeeping comes from with, apparently we're just going to talk about, well, this is good. We're talking about being pro-women, which apparently I need to do since I'm a sexist. I'm still hung up on that, guys. Sorry. But where does it come from in video games then? Because there was such vitriol in the community, and it wasn't just gatekeeping like women shouldn't play games. It was the women that did play games were, you're just a dumb broad, you're just a stupid bitch, you don't fucking know what you're doing, you suck at games, you're just doing this.
I never felt if I found a girl who played games or D&D and stuff like that when I was younger, they were like the best human being in the fucking world.
Me too.
So it never made sense to me. I never got it.
Yeah.
I think the last time I thought like that, I was like 6. Where I was just like, oh, girls that's weird.
Well, I think when we were growing up, it wasn't. I
never said anything out loud.
No,
me
still neither.
Cool.
I think when we were growing up, it was typically
it was a little
from
boy,
the people I knew. Little boys played video games. Little girls typically did not.
Yes,
which is fine. But that's just the way it was.
Really quick,
right? And I can look now and see how, and I get. Not that I get. I don't think it's right, but I see where it comes from, where there are these fucking guys out there that are pieces of shit that are just shitting on women. They're like,
just
you're
to do
just,
it.
You're
just to fucking do it.
No, but they're shitting on them, going, you're just playing games because you want to be. You're a Twitch streamer. You're just trying to make money from playing video games.
Or you're trying to be a pick
online.
me or
yeah,
some kind
like
of
shit like that.
Yeah.
So there's an argument that they can make there. Not that it's right.
Yeah.
It's not valid.
Look, even if those people exist, that they're not the majority.
Right, but there's that argument now, but this was happening before all that, Twitch streaming and shit was popular, where
no, I agree.
Women were getting shit on online for being reviewers, for being like on IGN or G4 TV.
Well, I feel like what makes it even worse are like people who will again double down on their statements.
The old
double down, because it always comes back.
I love our callbacks. We call back pretty often. I think.
Yeah,
I like it.
Because because the loudest voices are the most unlikable ones, because people like to platform things that are unlikable. So there's a female journalist that I don't like personally. I can't even think of her name, so she's essentially Voldemort to me. She fed her whole career off of being hated.
Sure.
And she'll like nitpick things, and she might have a point.
If
I heard her name, I was
Barry Weiss.
No. That name doesn't ring a bell to me.
I'm trying to think of who else might fit
I had
that
her
role.
face is in my head.
Okay, I don't know. Go ahead.
But objectively, she just seems like an opportunist. People like that always seem to feed the worst beliefs in the worst beliefs that the opposition has.
Yeah. And
then the opposition, who are just dumb as box of fucking dicks, just spread
tunnel vision it.
Yeah, just spread that's how they all are.
Right.
And then they spread that narrative, and then the people who are again the loudest, most hated people.
It's funny.
Feed that back and pump it.
You went the
bigger.
opposite metaphor. You went spread it out, and I went they tunnel vision
tunnel
on
in.
that one.
But it means
image.
the same fucking thing.
Yeah. No, same point. It's just funny that we used the opposite metaphors.
It still meant the same thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is it becomes this sad kind of really bad feedback loop.
Yeah.
And everybody in the middle, like, well, I'm not like that, but then they meet that opposition even just a little bit, and it tunnels them in deeper into what that other side believes.
Yeah.
Because when I was in college, Gamers Club, the lead was a girl.
Right.
Like she was the gamer.
Right.
She was a bigger gamer than all of us.
Yeah, that's surprising.
And it wasn't weird. She was just us.
No,
it's our group.
I think at this point, I don't remember, but I feel like I recently had read that the gaming community in general is about 50-50 now. It's like pretty much evenly split.
It's an addiction that all these people have.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's no different than having a book club. Or
I mean, I know I have so many
movies and shit like
women
that.
friends that are gamers now.
Yeah.
Which is it's like normal to me. It's like normalized now. It's not like when I was a kid where it'd be weird.
You know what communities I've realized aren't usually gatekept? Not often anyway. Are communities that are ostracized from the beginning.
Well, they want as many people in as possible.
True.
Am I making are you going to make a point that now makes my comment look stupid?
No, but I was going to say, like, the horror community, people who like horror movies, they usually are like old rockers. They usually seem like that. But they're always really open to anybody being in their genre. Like the horror genre that mixes with everything. Because the horror genre, you could just splice it with any other genre and it works perfectly. The people that are part of it rarely gatekeep horror films.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
And if you don't know about it, like, bro, I gotta show you this.
You're right.
Most people you meet that are in the horror community are exactly like that.
What makes the difference? Like,
and I think it's because horror gets ostracized all the fucking time.
Oh, right, you said that already.
Yeah.
Short-term memory loss. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, they get ostracized all the fucking time because it's always, this movie is so terrible, you can't. Like the FCC won't allow it.
That's a good point.
And so it's kind of like, that's rebellious. But it can be fed incorrectly too, and by the wrong types of people.
Sure.
And then they act like when we joked about the Republican Party now acting like they're the rebels. There was that shitty rapper who like talks about right wing talking points. He's acting like he's a rebel, but he's also
guy.
like weirdly ageist about a group that he's not in because he's a millennial, but he talks as if he's a boomer.
That guy's amazing.
And he's like, back in my day, we didn't have this. Like, bro, yes you did. What the fuck are you talking about? Just because you put in black contacts and put cornrows in your hair, it's just like, we were before
what the fuck's that guy's
appropriation.
name?
But that's exactly what you're doing.
What is his name?
Yeah, he there's people like that who are just bad faith all around. Who are just he's like king gatekeeper. He's gatekeeping a group he's not even in.
Yeah, that takes a lot of balls.
What the fuck?
That's like being a bouncer at a fucking like. It's like if we were bouncers at a nightclub. Like, we don't go to these clubs, but we're here to keep you out.
Keep you out, like, you know.
You know, well, you brought up the Republican Party. Political parties in general now are really
they are
big
just,
gatekeepers.
yeah,
really,
absolutely.
like, I mean, I was talking about on either the last episode or the episode before how politically homeless I feel, and it's because these, you know, the more polarized the groups are getting, the more they're just like, you don't 100% agree with everything I say, you're out.
Well,
nope,
again,
you're not a real liberal. Fuck you.
I was pressured. If I didn't vote for Biden, I wouldn't be black enough. That was so terrifying for me.
Biden was gatekeeping the black community.
Like, see, like it's
goddamn you, Biden.
I mean, after Biden turns into dust, nobody's gonna blame him for that. But
what do you mean after?
He's already there. He's paper mache at this
have
point.
you watched some of his?
I don't watch any.
You watch some of his conferences. You see like little flecks kind of flying off into the wind. I'm pretty sure that's him. I think it's
like a Jack Frost.
Little pieces of him
disappearing.
It's just very slow. It's very slow. Little pieces just slowly flying away. I think it's his soul just leaving his body.
You saying he has one of those?
Oh, it's a good point. I don't know. It just sounded right. You know, maybe it's not his soul.
I was expecting to get
his
yelled
essence.
at. I was expecting to get yelled at by a friend of mine because they like this person. She hates like Trump with a passion.
Sure,
but she
a lot
doesn't
of people
agree,
like that.
She doesn't agree what Biden's doing with Gaza and all that stuff, which I agree.
A lot of people. Well, but that's good. That means you can have two opinions.
But she posted this thing saying, you know, at this point, he's worse than Trump. I don't. It was like I had to post
for backing Israel. In general?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to get into that, but my point to her was, I was like, okay, here it goes, where I'm going to lose a friend on the internet.
Yeah.
And mind you, she's related to me in a way because, you know, through in-laws. So this is going to be fun, but I can't help it because this is stupid. I'm like, you do know they're both pieces of shit, right? They don't care about anybody. They're just playing they're playing chess games. Like, with our lives. That's what they do.
Dude, when Trump first
and they're
ran,
too old to be able to see, actually see, let alone
they literally
have
can't
enough
see
perspective to care about anybody outside of their own personal rich man bubble, right?
When Trump first ran...
And the fact that you're dichotomizing... I'm sorry.
No, when Trump first ran, his whole thing, everybody's whole thing was like, he's just like he's a regular guy. And everybody's made everybody, but a lot of people made the point, no, he's fucking not. He's fucking rich motherfucker.
Yeah, as you're trying to dichotomize, like, just make a 1 to them and then compare them evenly is really stupid. And she goes, you know what, you're right. I was not expecting that at all.
I wish you guys could see my face right now. It was one of shock.
Especially how, I felt brave enough to say it. I think I was just really in a funk. But I was just like, I'm just prefacing it. I'm not judging you as a person, but this was a shitty take.
Yeah.
And she took it down.
Wow.
She took down the post.
See? Look at that.
I was like, oh my God.
So I had
a post.
Two episodes ago, we talked about how I made a similar comment on a post and instead got shut down and called a sexist. You got told, yeah, you know what? You're right. Man, so that can happen. Okay.
That apparently can happen.
People can recognize when they're wrong.
And I was just like, faith in humanity restored.
That's
even
good.
as little as it was.
Yeah, even if it's just one little
people
anecdotal...
compare things and they get trapped into comparing things that aren't comparable. It's like, it's easy to compare them for fun. It's fun to compare them. But ultimately, two things can be terrible at the same time.
Sure.
And, like, gatekeeping, like...
Here you go. See, you're bringing it back. You always bring it back on topic. I love it.
Gatekeeping always seems that those are the people that always have to dichotomize things into like being one thing or the other.
Yes.
Like, you're either good, you're bad, you're in or out. And we as like normal people need to recognize when someone's doing that to us. I don't care how fucking much you love them or like them or care about them or what celebrity said it.
Yeah.
If you don't recognize those things or you don't have enough balls or lady balls to say something.
Dude, speaking of, even with all the Taylor Swift shit going on, there's Taylor Swift gatekeepers out there that are like, whatever. Well, no, you're not a real Taylor Swift fan. You just like her now because of X, Y, and Z. Like,
it doesn't mean I don't give a shit about her as a fucking person.
Yeah, I don't
like,
get it.
I don't care for her as a personal thing because she's not in my personal life. But her privacy and people making porn of her, I give a shit about that.
The music industry, that's another good one.
Music industries, that's a
metal
whole
fans,
fucking thing.
Metal fans, the gatekeeping in the metal community is like, I'm sorry, look, Metallica, it's metal. Right? But there are so many metal fans that are like, that's not fucking metal. You're not a metal fan. Fuck you.
It is weird because, like, splitting hairs with Metallica specifically, like, that is what they are.
Right.
But apparently they started off as a punk band.
Well, sure.
No, and back then people were like, punk isn't real metal. Like, you know.
No, but there are people that, if you're not, a fan of these underground metal bands that only a handful of people have heard of, that, they do tour, but they only tour smaller theaters. That's real metal. You're not a real metal fan if you listen to Megadeth.
Callback. That fucking asshole on Instagram that was talking about how this cacophonous bullshit, like he was gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Because he does jazz and shit. Like, swinger, like, Lounge Lizard swing music. And that was his thing. It's like, and you voiced your opinion, but you were disparaging other people. You're a gatekeeping piece of shit.
Right.
Because who are you to fucking hold up your halberd and be like, you can't pass music. Music is for the civilized folk. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, the music industry is actually a really bad one now that I think about it. The punk scene, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was into the punk scene for a while, and it was the same thing. It was like, oh, you like Blink-182 and Newfound Glory? You're not a fucking punk fan. You don't listen to Black Flag? Fuck you. You're not a punk fan. You're not a real punk fan. You're not allowed to wear that chain wallet. You're not allowed to have a skateboard. Fuck you.
I don't like or support Yoko Ono. But if somebody happens to like her bullshit, go ahead and like it. That is you. I just know we're not going to hang out when you're playing it.
Sure.
Like, that's how it is.
I didn't think of the music industry off the top. That's probably one of the worst offenders when I think about
I think
music.
it's best that we're holding it for last.
Yeah,
music industries.
Yeah, music
big
fans in general are huge gatekeepers.
And the thing is, with music and art in general, but music is just so subjective on like what really works and what doesn't work.
Music really gets ingrained in a person's identity too. I mean, if you think about different types of music, the people look at country music, they wear their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots. Punk fans, like I said, have their chain wallets and their mohawks and their patches all over their jackets. Metal fans have their long hair
big
and
ass
their
steel toe boots all the time.
Their sphincter mucus logo on their fucking shirt. So it really plays into their identity too. So I guess that's part of it. It's like you're attacking my uniqueness.
But it's like you're not. I know you're in your group.
No, of course
and it's
you're
a smaller
not.
group, but you're not.
No, of course you're not. But that's the way it's probably perceived. Like, no, I'm unique. I'm the only person that's.
I mean, when you
metal
boil
fan.
it all down to, a lot of people feel like they're being personally attacked when you attack what they like.
Yes. Well, yeah, of course.
That's why I take it on myself to defend people from people doing that.
Sure.
Like, even if I don't like it. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you don't have to shit on something else to feel better about yourself.
No.
You can say, wow, I think this is terrible. It's that easy. But you want to feel all philosophical because you want to feel like you're better than someone else. I'm still bitching about that guy on Instagram. I'm sorry.
No, well, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's what it boils down to with gatekeeping in general. You're right. It's about feeling superior to someone else.
But it's not like, somebody who's trying to like your music or doesn't really get it. It's not like they're putting their dick in your mouth. It's literally...
Maybe they are.
They're just asking, would you like a dick in your mouth? You can say no. Like, it's okay.
You could say yes, too.
You could say yes, too.
That's what you want.
The choice is there. They're not doing it. But no, it's all about approach. It's all about, how you react.
Yeah.
Something I'm trying to teach my daughter is really difficult. Be it you're right or wrong with being upset about something, it is how you react that really matters when it comes to you. Because she gets upset that her brother doesn't get in trouble as much as she does. Especially if he does something.
That's fair.
I went, well, when you have a bigger reaction and you don't let me or your mother deal with your brother and you make it about you, now we're focused on you.
Right.
And then we're too tired to deal with your brother.
Right.
You have to let us do this. You have to not have such a big reaction. That means you have to take personal responsibility to react appropriately.
I've had the same conversation many times. I think it's a really important
if you started it or not.
It's a crazy important conversation to have for kids to understand that, like, the way they feel they may not be able to control, but how they react to those that they have 100% control over. Like you can
Exactly.
get mad, but you can control how you process
Sorry,
that
that's gonna
anger.
sound great.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever.
Dad noises. You just
I don't know
did the
what
honky. But overall, yeah, we just broke that.
Hold on one
series.
second.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it. Oh,
What was I gonna say?
oh God, I thought you were gonna say "mommy milkers" afterwards.
Mommy milkers.
Ah, gross.
You put it in. I
I
wasn't
know.
gonna do it. You made it
I
happen.
shouldn't have said it.
But yeah, it's an important conversation to have with kids to so that they become normal, functional adults to be able to
and
control
I
the
feel
way
like
they
a
react.
lot of adults just don't care to or were never taught that your reaction matters, because when you're dealing with a gatekeeper, reacting to them could change how that works out.
Yes.
But also, being a gatekeeper is used reactionarily most of the time. Somebody says something that's either wrong about a thing that you like, or they don't like the thing that you like. It's like, well, are you going to attack them as a person, or are you going to attack what they like?
yeah.
And
Or are you just gonna maybe correct them and
yeah,
help them learn?
Like somebody says, well, this genre is shit. Like, okay, that's how you feel. I should react appropriately.
That is subjective.
But if they say, well, this genre is shit, and I don't understand why you have such bad taste, now you're attacking me
Right, yeah.
directly.
It's a difference.
And I know, and I, as the receiver of that, also know that genre is not who I am. It's only a part of who I am. Too many people say that I am not the sum of my parts, or think that. It's like, no, you are.
You literally
You are
are,
the
yeah.
sum
Yep.
of your parts. You just have several parts.
Sure. No, that's a good way of putting it.
And I there's so many, like, a lot of isms that are used, the drunk you is the true you, and I don't believe that either. I think that's stupid. Like,
I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
well, there's people
I
that
hope
say,
that's
like,
not
you're
true.
your true self when you're drunk.
That doesn't make any sense,
It's
though.
like, no,
you're your true self
because
when
you
you're
have no inhibitions. But I'm like, your inhibitions are created by your brain.
a part of you, yeah.
And that's who you are. There's certain things.
You're
that-
not your
that
true
make
self when
inhibit.
you are chemically altered from yourself.
You see what I'm saying?
That
Look
makes
it up
a lot of
online. That is a known statement. It's
Yeah,
usually
that
more southern,
Makes no fucking
but
sense.
it's like, that's really stupid.
it's very stupid. It makes no
I've
sense.
seen also, like, people, like, during intervention, because that show was a thing,
Right.
when they're just like,
yeah.
you're not your real self when you're drunk. I'm like, yeah, true. You're not really who you are when you're drunk.
No.
You're an asshole.
Unless
There's
you're a
people who
happy
are, like,
drunk.
completely different. Well, that's a tolerance thing. You're more tolerable when you're drunk. Like,
Yeah, that's true. True and tolerance are not necessarily the same thing.
because you might be an intolerant piece of shit. Like, I
Yeah.
can't stand being around you when you're not drunk.
You're a horrible, intolerant piece of shit that I fucking hate but when you're drunk, you're really happy. But you're not your true self.
You're not your true self.
Okay.
Like, your true self is garbage.
You just have to be the piece of shit you were born to be.
And there's people, I think most people are aware when they are the antagonist. And they have to, like, be okay with it.
You think so?
Find excuses to be okay with it.
I don't think people are aware when they're the antagonist.
I used to always think that people thought they were the protagonist of their story.
I still think that.
But I tend to now think that people work it in their head to be okay with being the antagonist.
You think so?
I think that a lot of people find excuses for doing the bad thing.
I mean, I guess that's an alternative way to look at it, yeah.
For instance, because, there's a lot of the pedophile catchers. Most of
been
these
talking
people always go, well, I was really lonely, or I got fired from work. It's like, you're doing this bad thing, but
Right.
you're using these excuses
to
be okay with doing that bad thing.
It's always
so it's not
something
more
like
so you're the protagonist. You're the antagonist.
That's true.
But you're finding excuses. It's sort of like people going, well, they're like, I'm the Joker. Like, don't do that. He's the worst.
He's terrible.
I
Why do
love
you
him
wanna
as
be
a
like
character,
that? Yeah.
but he's the fucking worst, and he's annoying.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I mean, you were in the military, and but more specifically, police force. Taking the Punisher character and wanting to be the Punisher.
Yeah, like, you missed the point if that's what you're going for.
You're law enforcement. You do realize the Punisher is the opposite of law enforcement, right? Like, that's not the right thing.
His thing at all. Like, from the creator.
Yeah. You're supposed to,
It's not his
enforce
thing.
the law and bring people to jail.
Like,
you're not supposed to be the executioner who decides who's allowed to live and die.
But they're not taking a similar character. They're not taking the Batman symbol.
Yeah, that would be a little
Like, he
more
works directly
reasonable,
with
right?
the police.
Yeah,
He
put a
doesn't
Batman
kill
logo
people.
on your jacket.
Like, Why don't you do that? No, because he's not as intense.
Well,
he doesn't just murder people.
I like military co-opting that symbol. I kind of get
Makes more
because
sense.
you're out in the field. You are
the law doesn't pertain to you.
You're out
and
there
he's a
to get the
military
bad guy. Yeah,
Like, that's something that military people, who especially have been to combat, struggle with when coming back to civilian side.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of us struggle with that.
Right.
Because it's just, like, there's all these rules! Like, there's just so many goddamn rules that are stupid to us.
I can't imagine going from a scenario where there are no rules for the most part, other than,
like, your military, like, yeah.
Yeah, your military.
You're on this side, this is what you're... Yeah.
But, like, other than that, it's a free-for-all, and unless somebody else is telling you not to do it.
In combat directly,
and then you get home and it's just like... Yeah, you have to follow. You're not allowed to do any of these things. You can't walk across that street there.
Like,
motherfucker, I can't walk across the street here. I walked across the desert.
with literal gatekeeping, a lot of military guys I've heard on forums that I've been in struggle with, if somebody breaks into my house, I can't just shoot them. Certain places, certain states, you can't just outright murder them in your house.
Like where we live, actually. I believe.
Yeah, if they break in and you injure them, they can sue you.
Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous.
It is mixed.
And
zero sense.
You're literally a gatekeeper for your house. Like, that's what you're protecting your home.
Yes.
Your personal space. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dog fart.
Oh my god, that Alpo. Oh.
It wasn't the dog.
It was you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's usually very hot dog smelly.
Oh.
Joaquim's choking on dog fart.
Give me a sec.
I don't smell it yet. Joaquim has left the room.
Oh. I was talking. I took a deep breath.
You tasted dog fart. Oh, I smell it now. I'm used to that.
Oh, that's a clip. I'm not.
Ooh. Yeah, it's
cat farts don't smell nearly as
pungent.
bad as that.
Well, I mean, she's a big dog.
She is.
She takes big shits.
She's a big old dog.
And eats big massive Alpo.
But yeah, like, oh god.
Speaking of, can you imagine eating the same thing every day for breakfast and dinner?
I've tried.
That's unfortunate for dogs. I feel bad.
No, you know what? Because dogs eat anything.
They will eat their own shit.
Yeah,
so,
they eat. They eat anything. So ultimately.
I mean, she once ate my son's shit that he left on the floor.
It's probably what I'm smelling. No,
it wasn't recent. Jesus Christ.
No, but like they struggle with that. So even the literal gatekeeping that is.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at you.
I still have tears in my eyes.
I know. It's like tear gas. All right, sorry. Finish.
I'm gonna lose. You're gonna do some editing here.
No, this is all staying in.
Oh, you asshole!
It's funny.
You have that on me now. Like, that killed me.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
Oh, Jesus!
You are literally wiping tears from your eyes.
Oh God, that hurts so bad. Like, I can taste it in the back of my throat. It is so gross. I'm trying to ignore it and be professional.
Just pretend it's a hot dog.
I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to be a
professional.
I'm trying not to be a psychiatrist.
You do realize what podcast you're on, right?
I still hold a level of decorum.
All right. I mean, I guess that's true. We should have some sort of standard.
I try not to derail us too much.
We don't talk about dead children, right?
Oh, Jesus. That should have been in our.
Oh, sorry. True
crime
standalone. That sounds bad. Me saying
episode.
it. We were talking earlier about a true crime podcast where they kind of were making jokes about murdered children and how it turned me off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just shout out dead children.
Yeah. Essentially, Matt found out he has a line, like a moral line in that regard.
I couldn't believe it. I really didn't think there was one.
Media. And that was it. And I was like, yeah, that's. I mean, I love true crime stuff. And
me too. Me too.
I often find that once they become more callous and they start making jokes, not at the murderer's expense, that's when I start losing it.
I mean, I guess when you do 100 episodes and you've covered so much death, maybe you start to get a little more.
Callous is over.
Yeah, and I don't know.
There's an expiration date.
There's still, I think, a line where you gotta keep yourself on one side.
Well, my thing is, if you are not doing a serious documentary style podcast and or show regarding that,
right,
and you're trying to add humor or your personality to it, it becomes more difficult, and it has an expiration date because you're going, because the natural human function is to callous over.
Sure.
Is to be able to deal.
Well,
with
not only that, if you're trying to include like some humor and stuff, It's not the easiest thing in the world to
No.
include humor when you're talking about, brutal murder.
Yeah, just that's why this will never become a true crime podcast.
Right,
It'll
yeah.
just never happen. But we might talk about true crime podcasters, and I will actually list ones that might be good, might be bad, who knows.
Yeah.
I mean, I called out that mukbanger. I cannot. I said it earlier
You did.
today to Matt. I was like, I've never seen or witnessed another human being that I thought was so pretty, but so fucking infuriating at the same time.
Isn't that really irritating?
I just,
Doesn't that make you mad?
Just like every time I see your face, it's like that's visually pleasing enough for me to punch. I hate it
Because it confuses your head. It's just very confusing to see something that's aesthetically pleasing and yet mentally anguishing.
As we said before, it could be both terrible. Like, two things could be terrible or great at the same time, or vice versa.
That is true.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And, like, you're an unprofessional bitch, and that's gross. That you just, like, and then he raped and murdered her. Like, ew. It's fucking... No.
It was funny when you did it, though.
I hope that came out just as awful as it plays in my head.
It was funny to me. A reminder to move.
Even though...
My watch reminds me to move like 20 times a day, because I don't.
I'm just going to have the thing say, shake that ass.
One day my watch is just going to be like, are you alive?
You soon
Hello.
will look like the humans from WALL-E.
No.
Oh no!
I hope humanity never gets there. I mean, that's
I mean, we're close.
unable to move in floating pods. We're not close.
Yeah, we are.
People were out walking around. We were just out. People were on their feet, moving somewhat, kind of.
Oh man, but all doctors feel like we're that way anyway.
They do.
It's just
Yeah, you ever go to a doctor who they themselves are obese and they're like, you need to lose weight?
like thanks.
Like, yeah, you too, bitch.
Thanks.
How about I
Somebody else
will when
does
you
it.
do? Sorry.
No. This is it. I never thought that was one of the more valid things that the fat acceptance movement has said, because I don't like the fat acceptance movement because it's gone beyond what it should be. Like,
No, well-
it should be don't make fun of fat people into you're fat and that's perfectly healthy. Like there's a difference.
Well, that's where. Oh God, we could get into a bunch of
Yeah.
or discussions about different things where this has happened, but yeah,
Which that is a gate-kept group too.
yeah, it's so stupid. Like, I don't understand when, like, why do people cross over that line? Like you said, like you go, hey, let's not fat shame. Like, and let's get to that point and go, yeah, that's where we should be. And then instead it goes, no, it's totally healthy to be overweight and fat. You won't get, well, I mean, you have diabetes, but it's okay.
And
Your
it gets
foot fell off,
it
but
gets
that's
to a
okay.
point that the leaders. Oh, okay. Oh, God. All right. So people who the mindset of a gatekeeper for this specific thing. So you're gonna, you have a leader essentially. That leader starts contradicting themselves, openly contradicting themselves.
Yeah.
And no matter what, anybody outside the gate is screaming at you, going, "Don't you fucking see them?" Like they just don't give a shit.
No.
Like the fact that people are, oh my God, they turned against Rebel Wilson when
Yes,
she started
when she
losing
lost weight,
She's
yeah.
like,
How
what?
dare you?
You're hurting us. Like, how are you like? Are you like the movie like Slither, where you're just like this hive mind?
She
like,
is
glob?
fat.
Like,
You have killed fat.
like
Fat is dead.
What the fuck is that?
She's like, oh, I didn't know I was in the body, man.
Like her personal body now belonged to
Yes.
all of them, which again gatekeepers like to do too. Like
Actually,
they turn against the creators or their heroes.
oh, on a dime.
Like, but it's so weird, like when or how they do it. Like, there's this model, this fat model who contradicts herself. She's like, I'm anorexic. I'm like, you're like 600 pounds. How are you anorexic?
Wait, what?
Look up fat model is anorexic. I forget her name.
I don't-
She's been on magazines. She is popular.
Kelly, it's the only one I can think
don't
of
know.
that's really famous plus size model.
She
What's
ate
her
a whole
name?
cake on video. Like it was like.
Wait, how?
But she's openly said that she's anorexic.
How?
And then jumped through hoops to try to explain how that fucking makes sense.
My brain's not working well enough to allow me to even attempt to figure out how that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
I'd like to at least try to think about it,
Like-
though. It's
like-
not working.
Like the only thing I can imagine is that she has the body dysmorphia portion of it.
Yeah, but that's
But
different.
you have it in the opposite direction.
Body dysmorphia is not the same as anorexia, though, and they're different
That's
things.
what I'm saying, and not everybody who's anorexic. Well, no, man. I think everybody who's anorexic does have.
Yeah,
body dysmorphia.
yes, you would
I
have
think
to,
that
but
is
not
the
everybody
case.
that has body dysmorphia is going
Is
to be anorexic. Yes,
because
it could go
I'm
the
not
opposite way.
anorexic, but I have body dysmorphia.
Sure.
So like, no matter how skinny I get,
You
I
still
don't
feel-
see it.
right.
I cannot see it,
Yep, and we'll go the other way too.
or I can't. Well, yeah.
Wait, no, that's the way I meant to say. The
Yeah.
way you said was what I was going to
Yeah.
go the other. That's the way I meant.
Okay, so because when I was in the army, I thought it was fat,
Yeah.
and apparently was not at all.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
You said you were like in shape and like toned.
Did not see it. Like in the moment. Afterwards, I'm just like, who's that guy? So,
Who's that strapping young lad?
but yeah, she says she's anorexic. They should have all just went, oh, we are part of a bunch of bullshit, aren't we? But no, they didn't.
Oh, we've made a terrible
They just
mistake.
added another chain on the gate and just like yelling at everybody else. Because if you're a fat person who kind of goes, what she said didn't make sense.
Yeah,
They
that, yeah.
fling your ass
her
over
right
the
over the
ballista.
top of the fence. The ballista. With a trebuchet.
The trebuchet, yeah, exactly. It just fucking shoots you over.
Woo! I was gonna say I think there's a lot of gatekeeping in gyms too, but I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, bro, you're not gonna be as big as me. Bro.
Isn't
No, I
that
think-
Planet Fitness's whole thing? Like
Yeah,
we're not gatekeepers. You can
Well,
come here and work
it's
out.
that we're
we
not
won't.
toxic, you know.
Yeah, we won't shit on
Which
you.
I know in my anecdotal evidence, because it's a lot of dudes that just get like really, really turned on by the fact that you're getting gains. You know what I mean, like gym bro types.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, bro, you looking swole, bro. Yeah, bro. Come on, get that
I
one more rep.
see them
Did
triceps.
it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like those guys. Those guys.
I see them pecs pop.
Like, I've only seen
do you-
that kind
do
of
you-
toxicity.
do you wanna
like
fuck
slamming
me?
the thing. Like I want to be as close to gay as we can without actually being gay because I'm not comfortable enough with that yet. like we can kiss. It's okay. I'm okay with that.
I really love them titties, but
I've been alone for a really long time. We can kiss. It's perfectly fine. We can kiss as bros. But yeah, no, like I know what they're trying to avoid, but ultimately, I feel it's a little shitty. When I went to Planet Fitness, it felt like there weren't enough. Like they focused on the wrong thing.
yeah.
And making people comfortable isn't always the best thing to do. It's probably better for business.
I went into a gym once and I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I went to a
hate gyms,
yoga
too.
studio and I had no problem there, but it was like, it was like 6 or 7 people, so I'd
Yeah.
go every week and like it was fine. But yeah, I tried going into a Planet Fitness once and I just felt so uncomfortable.
I had a Planet Fitness certain membership for a while. They made it a nightmare to fucking get rid of.
Of course they do. That's like a fucking trope.
Yeah, but like I've luckily have not seen anything in real life. I don't even know if these videos are real when you see the person like sitting doing the leg machine on low weights while eating a pizza. I've never seen some shit like that. But apparently there's a million videos and I don't know if they're real or fake. But people using the machines wrong
Could be both.
and not being corrected, or it seems
I've seen-
toxic for correcting them on it.
I've seen a lot of videos there where people are making fun of people because they're not using the machine
Yeah.
quite right.
I mean-
instead of fucking helping them.
Am I going to get in trouble for being shamed as somebody?
Sorry.
Am I going to get in trouble for getting upset at somebody or shaming somebody for leaving their ass crack sweat all over the fucking machine and not even daring to spray it off? They just don't give a shit. Like, I think that's more detrimental than
Of course.
some dude lifting
Yeah.
his max weight and accidentally dropping the weight.
Sure.
And it's slamming down. Like, I get yelling and just "Rah!" and all that, like, muscle man shit.
Right.
I get that. But I've heard the wee-woo thing go off when I was watching...
Another one?
When I was watching... Oh, God. Oh, my...
Dude, she must be aiming them at you.
Oh, my God.
What'd you eat today?
Watching that dude, like... This episode's gonna have to end soon.
Well, it does, because I smell that one.
Oh, my God. It's always when I'm talking.
I gotta leave in like 5 minutes anyway,
Yeah.
so.
But no, the dude slammed, like, he's lowered the thing and it slammed because it's fucking heavy weight.
Right, yeah.
And wee-woo, a couple months later,
Wee-woo,
those heavy
wee-woo.
weights gone.
Oh,
There
they
were
just
free
got rid of
weights.
them?
Yeah. I was like, because they're slamming him too much. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, well, don't they have like, aren't they like, those people are supposed to be in weightlifting gyms. They're supposed to go to a separate place.
I guess.
Which doesn't make sense, because if you want to be
Give them their money back and let them do it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to be a gym, you have to expect there's all different types of people that do all different types of workouts. So you're gonna expect that those.
Well, that's why I feel like Planet Fitness. Maybe a lot of them have done it, but they should just make automated, like not automated, but the workout machines, no free weight things, and leave that to other gyms and let other companies open and do their thing because ultimately. Planet Fitness is just supposed to get you moving.
Well, I had a friend that was a weightlifter, and he went to a specific gym, and he actually drove up to like Albany to go to it.
Yeah,
that's what they did. They did weightlifting, they did deadlifts, they did bench, they did squats. That was all they did. It's pretty funny to watch. You watch them do it, and they're just like, their faces are like popping, and then they drop, and they're like, it
is. I'm like, you don't look tough. You look silly.
I know. I mean.
You are tough.
Yes, you are tough, but it looks hilarious. You look hilarious when you pick up the heavy thing.
A clown's a clown, no matter how many muscles it has. Like,
yes.
Like I don't give it. Carrot Top still looks hilarious. And he looks terrifying.
Yeah, I mean he looks like a clown melted
over a really muscular Arnold.
Yes,
body sculpture.
Yes,
it's total HGH.
It's like somebody put a He-Man with real hair in the microwave.
Holy shit! Yes, it does.
Yeah, and it's just kind of melted down, and the hair frizzed up.
Yeah, whoever worked with him and Dave Chappelle, congratulations on making them monster. He was swole. He's
Did you watch his
I think
special?
Dave Chappelle's fat now.
I think we.
I think he's swole fat.
I asked you this on the last episode. Have you watched his yet? Or Gervais?
I don't even remember it. I remember it being mediocre. It
was. We talked about it before. I couldn't remember.
I don't remember if I eventually watched it or if I watched it beforehand, but I don't know.
All right, guys, that's the show.
Thank you for sitting through it. I know.
Hopefully this one comes out okay since we did it in person. It's a little different, but I'll try to make it sound good. Guys, we'd love it if you would send us some mail. I mean, we know you're listening, I think. Unless it's like my mother's downloading it, dozens of times herself. I don't know. So send us an email. Leave us a voicemail. You can do that right on the website, which is not playing because I have the sound all the way down. No, we're going to do it. ATIWIHY.com. Yeah. All right. You got anything else to add before we go?
I need to leave this room.
It smells like hot dogs mixed with Alpo.
It's in my throat.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. I kind of like doing them in person. It's fun to... yeah. Sorry, it's hard for you to talk still. I got to get the mechanics down to make sure we can record good quality. You still can't talk. I'm so sorry my dog farts are so bad.
Oh God, I gotta go. Bye!